Did you know that some of the darkest secrets of the Vatican varies from the tortures of the Inquisition to the Mafia in the Vatican? Well, buckle up because we're about to dive into the most chilling, shocking, and jaw-dropping secrets hidden behind those hallowed doors. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll never look at the Vatican the same way again. Let's begin with something that might take you by surprise. Michelangelo, one of the most celebrated artists of all time, known for painting the Sistine Chapel ceiling and many other masterpieces. While history remembers him for his extraordinary contributions to the Renaissance, few are aware that Michelangelo was openly homosexual in an era when being gay was not only taboo, but also punishable by death. Now, you might wonder, how did he manage to escape the harsh punishments that were commonplace in those days? It turns out that Michelangelo had a very close friendship with none other than Pope Julius II, which shielded him from persecution. The relationship was so strong that Michelangelo was allowed to live his life without fear of the consequences that others would have faced. But doesn't this make you wonder, what else was swept under the rug in favor of influential friendships? Now, at number 2, let's turn to one of the darkest and most disturbing aspects of Vatican history: the practice of castrating boys to preserve their high-pitched voices for singing religious music. These boys, known as the Castrati, were subjected to castration before puberty, ensuring their voices would never deepen. This barbaric practice, shocking even for its time, was justified in the name of religious beauty and purity. Was it really about purity? Or was it yet another case of manipulating lives in pursuit of aesthetic and spiritual power? The lives of these boys were forever altered, many left disfigured and emotionally scarred, all for the sake of church music. How could such a cruel practice be justified in a place meant to represent compassion and sanctity? Speaking of power and control, at number 3, did you know that the Vatican, during the Middle Ages, employed marketing techniques to attract believers? Yes, it might sound odd, but one of their key strategies involved stained glass windows. These intricately designed, visually striking windows weren't just there for decoration. They were carefully crafted to tell biblical stories to the illiterate masses. The imagery was powerful enough to captivate people and pull them closer to the church. It was a visual feast designed to invoke emotion and devotion. But doesn't this make you question the line between spiritual guidance and psychological manipulation? And it gets darker in number 4. Throughout its history, the Vatican has had ties to criminal organizations like the Mafia. Yes, you heard that right, Mafia. Scandals have emerged over the years exposing how certain factions within the church turned a blind eye, or worse, cooperated, with criminal activities for financial gain. From money laundering to aiding fugitives, the Vatican's involvement in illegal activities has shocked the world on more than one occasion. One can't help but wonder how such an institution, one that preaches morality, could find itself entangled in such murky affairs. Was it simply greed, or was it the thirst for influence and control that led the Vatican down these questionable paths? At number 5, we take a step back in time to the era of the Inquisition, when the church was ruthless in its pursuit of what it deemed heretics. Reformers like Martin Luther, who sought to translate the Bible into the common language for the people, were met with brutal resistance. The church couldn't allow its hold over spiritual interpretation to slip through its fingers. Translation of sacred texts into the vernacular threatened their authority. As a result, many reformers were executed in the most horrific ways. But why was the church so afraid of people understanding the Bible for themselves? Was it fear of losing control? Or was there something more sinister at play? The Inquisition itself was a monstrous institution, perfecting torture methods that are still echoed in modern times by certain militias. This wasn't just about maintaining religious purity, it became a form of economic sustenance. The torture chambers became a microeconomy, employing people to conduct trials and persecute those deemed guilty of heresy. Innocent people were often sacrificed to keep this cruel system alive. It wasn't just about religion, it was about power and money. And when the church needed to feed its economic structure, many people, many innocent people, paid the price with their lives. Doesn't this sound eerily like the abuses of power we see even today? But let's not forget one of the Vatican's most infamous scandals. At number 6, we have one that still rocks its reputation today: the issue of. Over the years, countless cases have emerged exposing the Church's involvement in covering up horrific crimes committed by priests. The Vatican has faced numerous accusations of shielding those involved in abuse, relocating guilty parties instead of bringing them to justice. While the Church has made some efforts to address these wrongs in recent years, the damage to its moral standing is undeniable. Can an institution that was once a beacon of moral authority ever truly recover from such betrayal? And finally, at number 7, it's important to recognize that the Inquisition wasn't just about rooting out witchcraft or religious heresy. It was a tool for maintaining the status quo. Torture and execution became routine, and many innocents were killed not because they were guilty of any crime, but because the Church needed to maintain its grip on power. This was a system designed to keep itself alive at the expense of countless lives. Could such a system ever be justified? Or was it simply an example of power corrupting even the holiest of institutions? As we peel back the layers of these dark secrets, it becomes clear that the Vatican's past is not as pure and untarnished as many would like to believe. From alliances with criminal organizations to the horrifying treatment of innocents, the Vatican has a history full of contradictions and moral failings. These stories force us to question how an institution that has long claimed moral authority could be responsible for such acts. What does this say about power, control, and the price of maintaining influence over millions of people? So, what do you think? Could these revelations be just the tip of the iceberg? And if these are the secrets we know, imagine the ones still hidden deep within the vaults of the Vatican. Now, before you go, make sure to hit that like button if you found this video enlightening. Subscribe to our channel, The Speedy Secret, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you don't miss out on any more intriguing explorations into the hidden corners of history.